Well, it's the Monday after a Broncos win, and that always makes life a little easier, doesn't it, Brian?
Well, it gets all the Monday morning quarterbacks something to do. You know, they go through the summer wondering what to do on Monday, Bertha. A day after watching his team open with a 34-20 win over Kansas City, Dan Reeves had good and bad to say about his team's efforts. As Mike Hafner reports, there was more of the good.
Defense was the question mark for the Broncos coming into this season, but it was the defense, led by Michael Brooks and a pair of key interceptions for scores, that held the day against Kansas City.
Michael Brooks played an excellent game. He was very active. I think he had 7 tackles and 3 or 4 assists in the ball games. He played very, very well.
The offense was another story. Reeves blamed little things like technique and poor receiver routes for the inconsistency. But Sammy Winder stood out. Winder may be the most underrated of all Denver starters.
I thought Sammy Winder was probably the most valuable, if you had a most valuable offensive player. He played extremely well, ran tough and hard, and his experience, really showed in the ball games.
The opening day win by this young Bronco team is a boost for their confidence, and they'll need it next week in Buffalo for their Monday night meeting with the Bills.
Glad to get some confidence, I think, going in against Buffalo, who many people picked to be in the Super Bowl this week. So a big, big test for us, and it's nice to come off of a win going into that game.
From Bronco headquarters, Mike Hafner, KMGH 7 Sports.
Running back Sammy Smith, the last holdout of this year's first-round NFL draft picks, today agreed to contract terms with the Miami Dolphins. Smith agreeing to a 4-year, $2.5 million deal. Ricky Jackson, a 4-time Pro Bowl linebacker for the New Orleans Saints, was injured in a traffic accident early this morning and will be lost to the Saints indefinitely. Jackson's car ran into a truck. He suffered a fractured cheekbone that will require surgery. Police say Jackson will be charged with reckless driving. They estimate he was traveling at 100 miles an hour at the time of the wreck. The University of Colorado moved up a notch in this week's AP college football rankings. The Buffs now ranked number 8 in the nation. Coming up on Saturday, you can watch the top 10 matchup as number 10 Illinois comes to Boulder to meet the Buffs. We'll have the CBS telecast for you here on 7 at 12:30 Saturday afternoon. Here's that AP top 10. Notre Dame remains number 1, followed by Michigan, Miami, Nebraska, and Auburn. Oklahoma heads the second 10, then it's Clemson, Colorado in 8th, Arkansas 9th, and Illinois rounds out the top 10. The Air Force Academy received some votes, but despite 2 impressive victories, the Falcons did not crack the top 25. Last night at the Academy, quarterback Dee Dowis once again led the Air Force offense as the Falcons blitzed defending WAC champ Wyoming 45-7. Dowis rushed for 201 yards. He ran for 249 the week before. Last night he also completed a couple of passes for 42 yards as well. Dowis' numbers have been staggering, and they've gained him some national recognition. There's even Heisman Trophy candidate talk, but Dowis isn't listening to that.
I don't want to think about that right now. It's just something else to clutter up your mind. I just want to, we got one goal. That's to win. That's all I want to concentrate on. And, we just can take it one game at a time and prepare and work hard like we did this past week. We've been working really hard. And, it's worth it when you get there on Saturday and Sunday, and it's a win.
A little steamy in the Air Force locker room last night. The Nuggets made a deal today, trading a second-round draft pick in 1999 to Charlotte in exchange for 6'10" center Tim Kempton. Kempton averaged 6 points and 4 rebounds in 17 minutes a game at Charlotte last season. Make it 3 straight wins for the Chicago Cubs. Again today, they knock off one of their challengers in the National League East. The Cubs beat the Expos 4-3, Montreal dropping 5 games behind Chicago. Game was tied at 3 in the 7th when the Cubs' Jerome Walton hit a dying quail that fell for a hit and left. Rick Rona scores, and Chicago led at this point 4-3. Montreal runners on first and second in the 9th. Mitch Williams tosses to first, and they pick off Jeff Houston to end it. The Cubs win it 4-3. And that's it.
He was picked off easy.
Yeah, they kind of faked him out there.
They did. All right, Brian,
Thanks,
thank
Brian.
you. Still ahead tonight, Vail is not only the best in the West, it's the best on our continent. We'll tell you about that.
And a Denver-based airline will be changing ownership. We'll be right back with that.